Thanks for your company. Let's settle for the details now. Findings from a media public investigation uncovered irregularities in admissions and financial transactions at Tepa Nursing and Midwifery Training College in the Ashanti region. Love News checks reveal, among others, shady deals in fuel administration by management is draining the state of huge sums of money into private pockets. Erastus Asare-Donko is one of media and public interest individuals who've been following developments in the school.
Ministry of Health payment vouchers cited by Love News, for instance, show the principal, Victoria Amwa, spent 29,150 Ghana cedis as travel expenses for herself and a driver. The figure excludes cost of fuel for 3 official trips to Accra. A journey to Accra by the principal and her driver on 5th January 2016 to collect scratch cards for the school cost 19,450 Ghana cedis minus fuel. On another payment voucher, expenses for similar day's journey to Accra by the principal on 13th January 2016 was quoted at 6,700 Ghana cedis besides fuel. Other visits captured featured 3,000 Ghana cedis personal expenses to Accra. Fuel vouchers intercepted also show Miss Amwa and college accountant Richard Asamoah together draw 240 gallons of fuel as state expense every month from Star Oil Company. This is contrary to documents cited by Love News, which indicate the principal is entitled to a monthly fuel allocation of 20 gallons, vice principal 7 and 5 gallons per month for the accountant. Investigations also reveal hundreds of fake receipts issued to cover non-refundable interview and results verification fees paid by applicants between 2012 and 2016. Students have been demanding the whereabouts of over 52,000 Ghana cedis they paid as matriculation fees. The students allege, though each of them paid 50 Ghana cedis between 2011 and 2015, they were never matriculated, neither has the money been refunded to them. Tepa Nursing and Midwifery Training School has been without a board for over 3 years. Ms. Amwa stands accused of taking unilateral decisions in admissions, allocation of resources in a manner concerned stakeholders say is not transparent. Public interest advocate Dr. Ernest Kwako points to evidence of admission procedures fraught with bribery and other fraudulent deals. For instance, applicants who failed to make interview selection criteria managed to gain admission over more qualified ones. A development levy of 170 Ghana cedis supposed to be charged annually is slapped on students twice a year with little to show for a school which lacks many teaching and learning materials. Dr. Ernest Kwako is disgusted by the findings.
As the evidence suggests, is that the board that is supposed to, look at the final approval of the admission for about 3 years or a little over 3 years has not been in place. It's been dissolved, if you like, and therefore, more or less, the duty now falls mainly on the principal, whom we are told that actually does it on her own. Even sometimes, risking of seeing things in a rude way on national TV or on national radio. She takes it to her home and she does it into her armpits and does it by herself. And we have even audio recording of evidence that they even do the admission and sell some of the admission in private hotels somewhere here in Kumasi. I thank you for your support to try and get this story out and get the ministry and the Ghana Health Service to institute an inquiry. I also threw a challenge to other schools, other nursing and midwifery training schools that have similar problems to come forward and help with this campaign.
Sources confirmed the findings, indicating the principal runs the school like a family business with no recourse to established rules. The principal will not speak with our news team. She directed us to speak with former board chair and Omahene of Tepa traditional area, Nana Chuniwampim, who will not confirm or deny the allegations against Ms. Amwa. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asare-Donko, Love FM, Kumasi.
Well, efforts to reach the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health have proven futile, but we'll still try and bring you details on this particular story. Away from that, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been reiterating government's commitment to stemming corruption in the country. Addressing a gathering at this year's National Dialogue facilitated by the National Commission for Civic Education, Dr. Bawumia urged all and sundry to join the fight as citizens instead of looking on as spectators.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are at a point in our country where we have witnessed the normalization of negative traits like extreme corruption. It's just not corruption, but extreme corruption, greed, dishonesty, violent crime, indiscipline, disrespect, and selfishness in everyday life. Lack of critical thinking and apathy to civic responsibility has led to a loss of self-confidence and acceptance of mediocrity. We seem to doubt our ability to rise and build our country, and this self-doubt is corroding our potential. Nana Chairman, in a bid to reverse this trend, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in his inaugural speech, exhorted us to embrace true citizenship and not to be mere spectators in national affairs. The President is committed to reinvigorating patriotism and nationalism among Ghanaians and to leading us into rebuilding our country based on the right values of discipline, integrity, tolerance, respect for the rule of law, and love for our country. These values are universal and central to forging nationhood and building great civilizations. Therefore, we must all take up the challenge in making them integral in our lives.
Dr. Bawumia there speaking at the 2017 National Dialogue organized by the National Commission on Civic Education on the theme Ghanaian Identity, Our Passion. Away from that particular event, Ghanaian traders have over the years agitated against the invasion of foreigners into the local retail markets like Okaishi here in Accra. Their argument is simple. These markets are by law, they are preserved. The challenge, however, is with ECOWAS nationals like Nigerians and Liberians due to the economic integration agenda in the sub-region. Sheila Tamaklo has been exploring the past, present and future of this business coexistence.
It started as a trade rivalry between Ghanaians and foreign traders for the hearts of Accra consumers. But now the battle seems to have turned into an all-out war.
But it appears the laws are not working. They are really disturbing our business, honestly speaking. They are actually taking over gradually. You understand? Because the Ghanaian businessmen are fading off because of the competition. The competition is not a healthy one as well. You understand? Because what we do is we deal in genuine business, and they don't bring the genuine goods. So they eventually sell better than we do. You understand? Because the customers complain of our prices. Meanwhile, our goods are the best.
The Nigerians are taking over the market because now even some of them are not having shop here. They are on the street. When they see people entering your shop, they'll just call them. They'll take them to a Nigerian shop. We've complained several times.
Sometimes we supply, but when we supply, it goes worth of maybe 10 cedis as the like grand price 10 cedi. You expect them to sell like 11 cedi, 12 cedi. They'll be expecting to sell it like 20 times 2 of that money, and the goods will be there. They can't sell it. But for we can sell 10 cedi, 10 pesos. We don't have any problem about that one. We only concentrate on how many people that we reach in a day, not how much you sell.
The competition is because of the prices. We are wholesalers. We don't sell retail. So our retail prices our wholesale prices are low. And if we want to sell retail, when customer come, we give them a price that is good, that when they go somewhere, they will not get such a price. Even when they go, they will come back to the same shops to buy because we sell on wholesale. And we don't sell to get maybe like 10 cedis as a profit. Maybe we'll get the 2 cedi or 3 cedi as a profit as wholesale price. You see, that is how we sell. So because of that, we'll have more customers.
Consumers who usually may not be bothered with who they buy from are at the center of the controversy. In this case, they had mixed views.
But there are regulations, so it all depends on the policymakers. Those foreigners, they've been given the directive that they should have their hub, as in how they should trade. So the regulators and the policymakers have to make sure they are abiding by what the policymakers are saying.
Well, what I can say is that if I want to go and buy what I want, I know where to go and buy them. So it doesn't really matter whether you have to go and buy from a Ghanaian or a Nigerian or whatsoever.
Some of them believe that they are their own enemies. You see, their marketing skills is very bad. These foreigners come in with the right mentality to make profit. They are penny wise, but you have our people here. The person buys a thing maybe 2 cedis, he wants to sell it 5 cedis and make extra profit, more than you should. But the foreigners, they come, the little they make, they are content with it, and they are able to turn their businesses over with time.
Some have wondered why this should start in the first place, since it's a free market and the laws are also clear. Under the Ghana Investment Promotion Center GIPC Act, retail businesses are restrictive to only Ghanaians, so the law is clear on the issue. Why then is it being flouted?
So I would say that it's a systemic failure in the sense that Ghana as a nation, we have our own local regulations and rules. So when it comes to the question of commerce or trade, as you are calling it, where are our rules and regulations? I think that's where we are failing, because this ought not to have happened in the first place. We cannot dwell on economic theory of more goods, then the lower the prices. I think we are dealing with commerce, and in commerce, we need to be careful with our indigene on the market, and at all costs, our indigenes must be protected through our rules and regulations. So,
a second school of thought thinks the law should be looked at again, since different business influences make the environment more vibrant. There are varied opinions on the matter. Yofi Grant is the Chief Executive Officer of the GIPC.
Well, it's a difficulty that we have, because at the end of the day, we are not high up on the production curve. So even in our markets, most of the goods that you see that is not food, or even with our food, most of them is imported. And so indirectly, a lot of our retail is already occupied by foreign business, because they wholesale and then we retail. And so for me, the difficulty is saying that, well, what's best for our people, really? And that is why we want to actually move the economy into one of production. Otherwise, if we stay there and we just buy and sell, we are not going to see a lot of value out of that, because on that, then taxes are going to eat away everything, and people have to rely on debt to go and buy their goods and bring it to the market. What I'd rather prefer is to have a lot of investment where our people can then participate in the value chain of production. So if somebody produces in our country and produces the goods, then our people can go and buy and sell. But it will be here. They don't have to go out to import and bring it to our markets and sell, because most of those goods are foreign anyway. So
Ghana's retail sector is restricted mainly to the capital cities. There are currently quite a number of foreign retailers on the scene. The size of the middle class, though small but growing, provides the basis for the demand of convenience and variety that is offered by the mixed markets of both local and foreign retailers. Due to much more complex operating environments in other countries, many investors view Ghana as the preferred destination for businesses in the sub-region. Bearing all these facts in mind, GIPC boss Yofi Grant is determined to keep the retail sector open to all under a revised law.
The deal about restricting it to our people, we need to review it and see what is really best for our people. What is best for our people is to create businesses that can enable them also create businesses and jobs and create wealth. Not just allow them to build up on import and export. That doesn't grow a country as big as well as if the country is able to grow its production base.
But this is a position the local traders disagree with.
With the foreigners, I don't know whether they are bringing investment or whatever. There should be proper checks on them.
For the foreign retailers, a revised law is welcome.
Some of our brothers, they bring so much money to invest here.
Sheila Tamako with that report. Will bring you more stories right after this. Thanks for staying here on Joy News today. An educationist, Mr. Kenkpodo, has blamed the poor quality of education in the country on society's misplaced priority. According to him, it appears attention to politics has become more important to the Ghanaian and government instead of equipping teachers and schools with the requisite tools and resources to achieve quality education the country needs. His comments come on the back of a video that went viral showing pupils using stones as a mouse during an ICT lesson in Asin Asamankese. He spoke to me earlier on News Desk.
We are prioritizing education sector, but not to the rural communities. Because as I speak with you now, the same Ghana Education Service survey that they did for 2012, I believe 2012, tells us that on the average, it's only 2% of the Ghanaian child that is able to read and understand in all languages. 2%. And these 2%, just name the schools. We have all these schools centered in Accra. That is where the schools are, because they count both the private schools and then the public schools. A survey that was done. So it means that this is centered just around some elite schools. But when you move on to the schools that the same people who are enacting these laws attended, they seem to neglect those schools. That is the public schools, where everything is cheap and it is manageable for people to go in. And that is the situation in which we are. So if you have 98% of the Ghanaian child not able to read and even to understand in his own language and in English language, it tells us where we are our direction is going into. So education is a lip service, but as to putting ourselves into it, it's a little bit suspect. Maybe it might not be the fault of the education service as a whole, because when you look at the budget year on year, we have increments of funds coming into it. But incidentally, over 95 to 98% of that amount pays salaries. So what is left to develop education? That is where the challenge is. If you look at those that go into medical school, law school, school of administration, aggregate 6 with AQ. But if you go to countries that are doing well, it's a reverse. Those that have these grades are the ones that are going to teaching field. But in Ghana, it is the opposite. It's garbage in, garbage out. We as a people, the only thing we are fixated about is when it comes to politics. We all have a responsibility towards education. If there are people who have like internet cafes and which are close by, and immediately we do not have, school authority and PTA and all those involved could start some negotiation, discussion with those group of people, and in batches we could take our pupils there and begin to instruct them towards that, because that is the only way we could go forward.
Meanwhile, the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service, Reverend Jonathan Bete, reacting to the video, commended the teacher in question, but suggested he could have done better in his improvisation. He also spoke to me on News Desk.
Teachers who attended training colleges were encouraged to use improvisation. If the real object is not around, use something similar to teach the children, provided there'll be understanding. Teachers are expected to be creative and innovative. So if the innovativeness and creativeness of this gentleman should land him into this, there is something else to be, talk about. And we are aware that all schools in this country don't have computers. it also doesn't open the avenue that a stone should be used. You know, when we were children, we were asked to bring clay. If that place is a village, you could get a clay, mold a clay, have a wire connected to it. It will make this, the lesson more practicable than you holding, everybody hold the stone, making noise. Not even on a table, not even on a table where you can move it, hold it this. It means that there is something that has been orchestrated, something that has been
do you suspect foul play here?
That's what I'm just trying to say. Why should the media be invited to see that?
No, okay, Reverend Better, let me just set the record straight here.
Set it right.
This video, we saw it on social media, and my colleague, who is in the Central Region, Richard Kojunyako, decided to trace the school and join them in an ICT lesson. So that's how it happened. It wasn't as if the media...
Was he helping? Has he carried something to replace what has been done?
No, obviously we've had sponsors calling in and saying we support the school.
Then it's good, it's good.
But we also hear that this particular teacher is likely to be sanctioned.
We waiting for situational reports from the district director or the head. Without that, we cannot decide that the guy deserves to be punished or not. There might be other things inside. But what I want to say is that as far as we advise that improvisation is not too bad, we can't be too strict on that gentleman who was teaching.
Away from the education sector, the Central Region town of Dentrobwase has been in the news lately for the lynching of Major Maxwell Mahama after the town's folk wrongly accused him of being an armed robber. The town, following the killing, has become stigmatized, with many raining curses on its people and giving them all sorts of names. Latest information available to Joy News, however, suggests the town has a history that may be haunting it, and with its residents, which its residents may wish to rewrite. Inshira FM's Ohiming Terrier has been doing some digging and reports on how the inhabitants had to relocate after their previous settlement was cursed.
Dentrobwase attracted global attention when residents pounced on a military officer and beat him to death in broad daylight on the fateful Monday of 29th May 2017. Major Mahama had committed no crime except for the people suspecting he was an armed robber. The incident, according to sources, had been preceded in 2012 by the killing in similar fashion one of 3 men believed to be national security operatives. Joy News was told of how the old Dentrobwase town was once cursed by an unknown person who had cited residents for unfair treatment at the town's original location. That curse, according to mythical accounts, turned residents and the entire community into standing rocks shaped in human sizes. When they resettled at the present place, residents were barred from the old site for any reason. The chief and selected elders, however, offered sacrifices to their ancestors there every 2 years. With time, the area, covering about 4 miles square, has grown into a thick forest. 86-year-old Nana Kojo Nsonwa is an elder of Dentrobwase.
The town used to be called Obosomase. Chiefs and elders performed sacrifice to gods every 2 years. There used to be a river here where no one was allowed to step in, drink, urinate, or even spit in unless a sacrifice was made. People in the town were very wicked and never accepted foreigners or visitors. The day a family in the town accepted a visitor, people turned into rocks.
Today, I have been able to access Apahu without offering a sacrifice. The prohibited land, though has been covered by thick forest, is now open to human visit. Elders of New Densha Obuasi want the area developed into a tourist site to generate income for the community, as echoed by the chief linguist, Nana Kwabena Asare.
If the place is turned into a tourist site, revenue will be generated for the community.
The score is endorsed by caretaker chief Nana Kofichre.
Interesting revelations then, that report by Inshura FM's Ohiming Terrier. Now, World Blood Donor Day, WBDD, is celebrated by countries around the world every year on June 14. The purpose of the day is to raise awareness of the need for safe blood and blood products and to thank blood donors. According to the World Health Organization, the lives and health of millions of people are affected by emergencies every year. Emergencies increase the demand for blood transfusion and make its delivery challenging and complex. So, have you donated blood before, and what are your concerns about donating blood? Here are some views from the streets of Accra.
Not in this country, in my country, you know. It was a blood donation exercise. I think it's a good thing to do it, you know. As soon as we are human beings, when your brother needs something from you, you have to give it to him. And I'm encouraging every one of us to do it, you know, yeah.
Not reason in particular, I just haven't had the time to be there when it's going on. Maybe I'm in the midst of something, the person is really in need of blood. That maybe I might be the only person to be in support of the person, so I will help.
I'm afraid maybe after the donation, I might fall down. Yeah. If my family member or relative wants blood urgently, for that reason, I can donate blood.
From my experience of it, I thought it was very good for everybody to go and donate blood, simply because you don't know what might happen to you tomorrow. So for me, I think it's good.
Yeah, it was during a blood donation exercise. Some people find it difficult to donate blood. Some people are scared of, donating blood and all that. But me, it was easy. Yeah, people should donate more blood to save life, because you don't know when you too will be, in need of blood. Someone will also need your help.
Oh, I don't have any reason, but well, I can do it, but I don't have any reason. Oh, I feel very hurt. Something like if something happened for somebody, I feel for the person that I have to do it.
Yes, I have. It was a long time ago. It was an exercise, a blood donation exercise. Yes, it's safe. It saves life. Like, somebody out there may need it someday and you will not know. You'll be of help to that person. I was scared. Like, I didn't know how I was going. I thought I was going to faint or collapse after it, but I was okay, and I was told to eat more and then relax.
Well, the acting donor services manager of the National Blood Services Ghana, David Ahiadzro, urged all and sundry to help stock the blood bank so there'll be enough blood to save lives anytime the need arises.
There are people who are actually passionate about voluntary blood donation, who want to save a life, and they've actually put in some efforts to make sure that at least this blood donation thing actually becomes a reality so far as safety and availability of blood is. I keep on saying there are so many benefits of donating blood. First of all, you have that inner satisfaction and the joy of actually saving a life. Blood donation is the only opportunity that you can get to personally intervene and save someone's life, you understand? So that joy is there. And aside of that, anytime that you avail yourself to donate blood, you are taken through a health screening of a sort. So you are screened free of charge of a sort if you avail yourself to donate the blood. So that is also a benefit. Then also when you are through and you are able to donate the blood, then you are aware that definitely your system is okay. And blood donation is also such that when you donate, you know that your blood is going to save someone's life. So that will also let you actually carry yourself such that you know that the safety of your blood is very important for the survival of someone. So you also carry yourself about not to indulge in any risky life behaviors. So those are some of the benefits. And also, like you mentioned earlier on, we issue donor certificates, donor cards. And here we expect that people should continue with the donation. And in that, we also display a blood group. You know, there are a lot of people who doesn't even know of their blood groups, and that is very dangerous. You know, should emergency strike, you know, the delay or what have you, you might not survive. But if you are a donor and you know your blood group, definitely the medics can do something as against somebody who doesn't know the blood group. So we have those benefits, and also we have corporate benefits, group benefits. I think multimedia also have organized blood donation, one or two. Then they have that benefits. Whoever needs blood at times takes a letter from here to us, and we actually get the
Thank you.